Guys, it's the start of a new year. It's 2025. It's time for fresh, new things. Or maybe some old things. Maybe it's just time for a change. Maybe you want to, I don't know, explore some new bottles. Maybe you're a bourbon drinker who wants to get into Ryes. If so, I'm talking to you. I got 10 Ryes I think you should be drinking in 2025. Let's roll that intro. All right, guys, welcome back to T-Rod Whiskey. I am your host, T-Rod, and I just want to say thank you, guys. We've only been around a short time, but 2024 was a pretty successful year, all things considered, between the Instagram and the YouTube channel. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you all for making that successful. But yeah, if we just kind of want to jump right into it, this video was spawned because my brother was over the other night, and he enjoys his whiskey, he enjoys his bourbons, his scotches. He doesn't like rye. And I'm kind of trying to get him into Ryes a little bit more. But if you're looking to dip your toe into the world of Ryes, right, you're looking to maybe, I don't know, just find some new stuff that's on the shelf. Maybe you've been drinking a lot of the Jack Daniel's Ryes, which are very good. I don't know, Jim Beam rye. I don't know what like super hardcore rye drinkers are into for just their daily sippers. I don't know, because I'm kind of all over the place. But this is 10 bottles. I think I got 11 bottles of rye that I think you should be drinking in 2025. Now, we're going to start with number 10 on the list, and this is in no particular order or anything, right? Number 10, this is like a 10A, 10B type situation, okay? George Dickel rye. I can already hear some of you clicking off of this video because you're like, wow, George Dickel. Clearly, he has no idea what he's talking about. Not a huge George Dickel fan when it comes to their Tennessee whiskey, other than the bottled and bond. Asterisk, their bottled and bond, 13 years, pretty good. This is actually a pretty okay, neat sipper, but it is a pretty darn good cocktail rye. Comes in at 90 proof. It mixes very well, holds its own. If you want something just a little bit higher proof, this one should be no shock to anybody, and I'm going to have to replace my bottle soon, but this is the Old Forester 100 proof rye. If you're a cocktail person, or maybe the way that you kind of foray into a new spirit is through cocktails, these ones will both set you back about $24. They'll be great in a cocktail. They'll be great neat. They should be available just about anywhere liquor is sold, like on the planet. They both have massively wide distribution networks. So these two are some great options. Okay. Number 9. Old Pepper Single Barrel Rye. This is a store pick from Canopy Bottle and Gourmet, and I believe that's in Brighton here in Michigan. This is one of my favorite bottles. I actually bought 2 of these when these came out. I am down to like my last third of this second bottle because this is an absolutely fantastic sipper. These Old Pepper single barrels, this one's 4 years, I think. Yeah, 4 years old. These are getting up to be like 6 years old, and they're starting to really, really get good. Now, it says on the back, distilled in Kentucky and Indiana. Yes, they were sourcing for a few years here, trying to get everything off the ground. I'm not going to get into the whole dichotomy of the history behind James E. Pepper, but it is a really cool story. And if you guys have a chance to visit the distillery district that is around the Old Pepper Distillery, I highly, highly recommend that. I had a really good time there. I wholeheartedly support all of the products they have on the shelf. Yes, including the single malt. I know it's not for everybody, but I personally like it. Okay, so Old Pepper single barrels, if you find these, specifically the store picks, and that age statement will be right there at the top. If that's a 5 or a 6 year, do it, because these typically are between $50 and $60, and they're real good. Real good. Okay, next one, and this one isn't actually distributed here in Michigan, but it is the Bodega Cat Rye Whiskey. I don't know a whole ton about this bottle other than it's good. I know ADHD Whiskey has talked about it. This was on some of my Rye of the Year list for 2023. It's a 90 proof sipper. It says right on the back, Distilled in Indiana, so you know it's a 95.5 MGP rye and aged for a minimum of 2 years, so it's pretty young. It's also pretty cheap and pretty tasty. Any kind of 95.5 MGP rye is going to be a hitter, okay? This brand was actually started by two comedians. I don't know their names, but cool story, cool bottle, cool price tag because it's a little bit cheap. Let's see, bottled by Gaiman Spirits Group, Houston, Texas. So a Texas whiskey company that is currently sourcing from MGP. I don't know if they're aging or what it does, but I like this one. I think it's a fan. It is available on Bourbon Outfitters for those of you who are looking for some place that ships to most states. I would definitely take a look at that one. Bodega Cat Rye. Okay. This next one, this is a local bottle with also limited distribution, but I really like it. American Fifth Wheeler Rye Whiskey. Yes, I know I talk about American Fifth a lot on this channel, and it's because I love the distillery and I love the things they're doing there. I hope they continue to head that direction. I hope they continue to make delicious whiskeys, because every time I'm in Lansing, I got to stop by. But this Wheeler Rye is something special. It's a spicy, dark fruit bomb with a little bit of a herbaceous quality to it. It's unique compared to a lot of the other rye sitting on the shelf. It's not going to be super sweet, super rye forward. It's going to have more of a minty, dilly, herbal note that just it's different. It's something different than what's sitting on the shelves normally. I think these bottles go for like $37, $38 here in Michigan. This is one of the few they have that is available everywhere. The Wheeler Rye, I believe, or their signature rye, they have two. And their bourbon are the only ones that are distributed. Everything else is the tasting room only, which is unfortunate, but you know what? We're going to live with it for right now. But if you guys ever get a chance to swing by Lansing, definitely check out American Fifth. And yeah, I mean, it's all done in-house. You can see right from the tasting room, their distillation equipment. This is only 21 months old. This is not even 2 years old, but it's aged in 15-gallon barrels. And I know that's going to put some of you guys off, but don't. Give it a try, okay? See what it's about. I promise you will like it, okay? American Fifth Wheeler Rye. Next up, right, a little bit of a curveball here, a Canadian rye, lot 40. So I'm here in Michigan. I'm a 20-ish minute drive from the border, and just the other side from the border, just the other side of the Detroit River from us is the J.P. Wiser's or the Hiram Walker Distillery. And one of the products they make there is the Lot 40 rye. This one is unopened because I killed the last bottle and I just haven't gone back to this. But Lot 40 rye is fantastic. Canadian ryes get a bad rap because they're like weak or watered down, or it's mostly neutral grain spirit. Read a book, guys. Okay, that's not what it is. Some like really garbage whiskeys that, you know, come out of Canada maybe taste that way. Maybe that's a rumor. This is not one of them. And some of the annual releases coming out of Lot 40 are just absolutely fantastic. I had a chance to attend an event, a curated dinner with Dr. Don Livermore, who is the master distiller and blender at J.P. Wiser's, or at Hiram Walker, I'm sorry. And yeah, this is an absolute banger of a rye. Dr. Don is incredibly knowledgeable. He's written his own book. He has coined a word, ooskophile. Yeah, you guys can Google that if you'd like. I think he literally did create that word, and I think it's supposed to be like getting put in Webster's or something. I don't know. But if you see this sitting on the shelf, don't be dissuaded by the fact that it's Canadian rye. Just try it. And it's 43%, so 86 proof. It's not going to light your hair on fire, but it's going to be a nice, approachable rye. And it's a 100% rye whiskey made from Canadian grains. It's going to be something different. Expand your horizons. It's a new year, guys. Let's try something new, okay? This one. Sagamore Double Oaked. The cat should be out of the bag on this one. It really should. Maryland Distilling, or Maryland Distillery, not distilling. Sagamore Spirits has been making this for a while. This is one of the best not kept secrets. I don't. Everybody seems to know about this, but nobody I know is actually drinking it. And it's their double oaked rye. And I mean, what is the proof? It's relatively approachable here. 96.6 proof. This is one of our favorite bottles in the Speakeasy. Courtney and I go through probably 3 or 4 bottles of this a year, which should be a very powerful indictment for this brand, because I've got close to 900 bottles down here. And for us to go through this one as often as we do, that says a lot. And we usually don't put this in cocktails. I think one time I've used it in a cocktail just to see how it would work, and it was very good. but we like it neat. It's great. It's a nice, sweet, oaky, desserty rye that is sitting on the shelf at all times for around 65 bucks. It's near impossible to go wrong. Great product, great presentation. Their company's doing amazing stuff. I know they've sold some barrels to Evernorth Spirits. If you guys kind of look behind me, you can see some of the Bourbon Junkies bottlings back there, and it's all been top notch. So if you haven't had one of these and you're maybe a bit apprehensive about ryes, try this. It doesn't have that rye bread quality to it. Okay. Okay. The next up, we have the Overholt Straight Rye Whiskey. The only reason this is on here is in the spirit of trying new things. This is a Monongahela mash rye. What that means exactly, I'm not entirely certain, but it's a older, more classical method and type of rye grain that is used for making this. This is 4 years old. I think it's only like 35 bucks. I don't know if this is sold here in Michigan. Honestly, I haven't really paid attention. I've drank a little bit out of it. You guys can't really, I don't know if you guys can really see if it'll focus. Tinted bottle, all that. It's a great product and presentation. I love the Overholt Ryes. I like the 114 proof Overholt Rye that was like a limited release only for the state of Ohio a couple of years ago. I've got one of those that I really liked. But it's something new. It's something different. If you're a diehard rye fanatic and you haven't tried this, give it a go. Might be shocked how much you like it. Okay. What do I want to do next? Okay. Buzzard's Roost. So normally I would be grabbing the cigar rye and putting it up here, but I was recently told, and not that recently, it was a few months ago when I was at the tasting room in Louisville, we don't know if this year's going to have a batch of the cigar rye. I guess the FDA is getting involved, and they want, they're not sure if it's something that should be continue to be allowed or something along those lines, which is unfortunate because it is far and away my favorite rye. I headshotted that bottle during the whiskey advent this past year, and it's absolutely awesome. But that's not to say that Buzzard's Roost doesn't have other tasty ryes, like the Char Number 1. Char Number 1 referring to the barrel char that this is aged in. Now, this is an MGP sourced rye. I don't believe this is 95.5, but it's bottled and aged by Buzzard's Roost. I know they're working towards distilling their own product at some point. I don't know when that'll happen. They're just sourcing right now, but like I said, I'm a sucker for MGP ryes. I think this one is really good. Buzzard's Roost just recently got some distribution here in Michigan, so we can actually find it, which is really cool because I was getting tired of having to drive an hour and a half south to Ohio every time I needed a fix, So if you see Buzzard's Roost on the shelf, give it a go. 2 left, okay? This next one. Old Scout, Smooth Ambler, Old Scout Rye. Specifically, some of these single barrels. This one here is an OHLQ pick from 2023, maybe 2022. Does it say? It doesn't say. Anyways, this one is fantastic. It's super sweet. This is a juicy fruit bomb in a bottle. This tastes just like juicy fruit gum to me. I know some people are going to call me a hack or a liar, like, oh, you don't taste juicy fruit gum on a rye. Okay, well, that's what I get out of it. I'm not trying to make up some creative, artistic tasting note. That's what it is. I think it's really drinkable. I think it's severely crushable. That's why whenever I see these OHLQ picks, I definitely think hard about grabbing one up. I do have another OHLQ single barrel of the Old Scout Rye because this one was so good. I'm hoping the other one, which is a year older, this is a 5-year. This is only a 5-year rye, and it's that good. The 6-year is sitting on the shelf, and I'm probably going to get into that one soon. They also have a port cask finish that is very, very nice. I highly recommend. Yeah, I mean, this is also an MGP rye. Okay, so clearly I'm just a big fan of MGP products. But the last one, and this is one that everybody should be getting excited about. Bourbon drinkers, rye drinkers, whiskey aficionados, whatever. This is something we should all be getting behind and getting excited about. This is a Wild Turkey Private Selection Single Barrel Rye. Now, these were not a thing for the last 5 or 6 years, and they've just recently started popping up again. This one was purchased at the Mega Bev in Lansing, and it's basically Wild Turkey 101, right? Yeah, it's Wild Turkey 101 in a single barrel. This one is from Tyrone H. on the third floor, so a bit higher up. Me personally, anything higher up in the rick house is kind of where I tend to gravitate towards. Oddly enough, I don't like the rare breed rye because of that lemongrassy kind of note that it has, but this was really good. And there's actually a store near me that has one of these, and I might be swinging by to grab one because Wild Turkey rye is actually very, very good. The 101 is one of my favorite ryes. I am eyeballing a bottle on the shelf right now that is almost dead, so I'm going to have to get a replacement for that. But if one of your local stores or supermarkets, or it doesn't really matter who it is, any type of purveyor of fine spirits has one of these picks available, do it. Okay, give it a shot. Snag it up. If you haven't tried one of these because maybe rare breed rye put you off or something, this is not the same flavor profile. It is very much different and very much delicious. So that is that. That's my list of 10 asterisks, 10 bottles of rye that I think you should be hunting after here in 2025. Hopefully you guys like the list. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. I know I was going a little bit fast because I didn't want to drag this video out for 20 minutes, but this is what I think you should be looking for if you're a rye drinker or if you're someone who's looking to dip their toe into the world of ryes in 2025. Obviously, there's a lot of allocated stuff out there, but we're not going to get into those just yet. But I will catch you next time, guys. Cheers.